I am live. Hello, everybody. What's up? It's Andy here. Or, if you're that way inclined, Glass Half Dead. How's it going? First things first, can you hear me okay? Can you hear the background music okay? Or do I need to turn it up again? Because I'm not very good at that. Hello, if you're in chat. What's up? Do say hi. Let me know what you're up to. Are you hobbying? Are you vibing? What's going on? Housework, that's very usual for my audience demographic. Lucas M there wants to know how on earth I paint so well and so quickly. Firstly, who said that was quick, bro? Maybe that took me literal years, you know? Just to be clear, I'm quiet. This is an outrage. I did feel like I was. Oh, you know why I'm quiet? Okay, hold on. I know exactly why I'm quiet. Okay. Boom. We're loud again because I had earlier recorded using a different microphone, which is on the other side of the desk. So my bad there. We should now be good to go. We should be good to go. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. So hello to Kaz, hello to Academic Chris. Indeed, I refer to the Codex Hydrates, Hydrates, I'm very funny. Hello, Painting My Eye. Hello, Jamie Quick. Lucas M. It was me that painted them. I said it in some of my my things, my Blood and Zeal videos, as a point of pride, even though I didn't really want to play these teams, but you know, for me, I just, point of pride, I have to paint every team that I get given. There you go. So I did that, although I started to flag somewhat because I was a little bit too busy to do the whole of the Goremongers team. I've done the whole of the Sanctifiers team, which are up here now, along with my Sisters of Battle, my Adeptus Sororitas. And I've not yet done all of the Goremongers. I only did the Blood Herald because I did it for the thumbnail. The others are in the pre-production stage, if you will. That's not true at all, but they're done, yeah. So I will carry on with that. Yeah, I have explained how to do my super quick, super easy scheme. Bizarrely, 2 people today have asked me for it. So, yeah. I did a video called Kill Team Unbox to Table, or Kill Team Your First Box. And in there I explain exactly how to do it and even do an actual painting guide. So if you go check those out, those are the ones. Those are the ones. Yeah, nice. Can everybody hear the background music okay as well? It's a new selection today, so I want to make sure you can. It's not my normal World of Warcraft, shall we say. I have hopefully fixed that now for you, Painting My Eye. Thank you for pointing that out to me. Salut, cooking dinner, recovering from Saturday. Thanks for your TOing, Andy. Again, that was all Bruce. He was the TO. I was just, I like to think of myself as the tournament gaslighter. I just kind of walked around, told everybody they did things wrong and they don't know how to play the game. But yeah. It was all Bruce, Yeah. Hello, Ian. How's it going, my man? How's it going? What are you up to? Kiwi Commander, good to see you again. Hello, everyone. I do have a quick question. Will the Plague Marines kill team rotate out at the same time as the Angels of Death? Yes. So the Plague Marines and the Angels of Death are all in this season, so the Volcus season. So in 3 years' time, they will rotate out of... So basically, at the end of this edition, they will then rotate. They will survive 1 year into the next edition of tournament legality, and then they will go away at the end of next edition, so 6 years later. If I'm honest, that's a very long time. If I still have a channel in 6 years, kill me. In a video game, obviously. Working surviving capitalism in the States. Ooh, talking about surviving capitalism in the States, I would like to say if you're here right now, I'd like to give you all a big double hello. Wow, so wholesome. Truly the wholesomeness knows no bounds in the world of Glass Half Dead. And talking about staying surviving capitalism. If you want to support me, consider checking me out on Patreon, where I do things, mainly just more rambling and such. But if you support me there, you go directly towards my hydration fund, because I also have to survive capitalism when I want to remain, I don't know, playing a lot of Warhammer, I guess. Today we're going with Tesco Zero Cola. Zero Cola for those with zero charisma. Thank you. There we go. There we go. Right, I've got to scroll up because I've gone too far. Hello, Rordo, good to see you. How's the burnout? Really good, really good. So every time I go to these tournaments, which I don't go too often, I always get very inspired, if I'm honest. I was inspired both by the kill team and the 40k, I've got to be honest. I'll probably talk about how the tournament went for me a little bit later. But of course I do have the old Blood and Zeal book here. And I can do a top down with it, can I? He says. Right, there we go. So we've got it here. That's lined up. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Tyrannid terrain that just got shown, right? We're going to talk about that in a moment. We've got a lot to talk about, is what I'm saying. But I will probably have a quick chat about how the tournament went. But yes, very cool, very exciting stuff to see there for both 40k and Kill Team, no doubt. And that kind of inspired me. After I burned out doing way too much content, which is still just lying around, which is why you're going to get a video every day this week, because there's too much and I've got to get it out so I can talk about new things. But yes, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling strong, and I want to get back to the game. Bruce's Minions, of course, is Bruce, the guy that TO'd on the weekend, so big shout out to him. Eddie, good to see you again, my man, fashionably late as per. This is pretty fashionably early for live streams, in my opinion. Bruce did indeed do an excellent job, Adam, I agree. Lee Burns, what is up, Lee? Haven't played too much KT of late, but this box has got me hyped. Oh, really? That's great. That's great, especially the Sanctifiers. You see, there's no accounting for taste, is there? There's no accounting for taste. This box didn't really inspire me too much, but it's great to see that other people are inspired by that. And I really try to keep that in mind when I'm making content, to not be too personal biasy about things, because I know that for some people, they're like, this is my team. I love it. I want to talk about this team. And if I'm there like, oh, this sucks, and then immediately skip, because that's what I'd probably do naturally, that would suck. So I do try to be a little bit unbiased at times. I don't do that very well though. Miko Jones, hello, just watched your last video. Oh yes, that was the, I enjoyed the thumbnail for it. I feel like when you do dumb thumbnails like that, people know what they're getting into, right? They're not like, this is going to be a hard-hitting factual documentary, are they? The one thing in that Knight said, yeah, that would be cool. I agree. I know that, as I said in that, Navy breaches are basically that, or you could argue rogue traders also. They could be like that sort of, you know, like surf thing. It would be cool to just have an official one, right? Let GW explore things a little bit more. Granite, Hydratus, brother, Hydratus. Do you think you will come to our Bristol GT? Miss getting a game against you in Jan. When is it? Is it the one in, is it June? Currently unknown. I don't plan my life any further than 2 weeks ahead, basically. There's a guy, one of my patrons actually, who's over from America. And he's like, hey, do you want to meet up on Friday? I'm like, whoa, Friday? That's like 3 days away, man. I can't commit to that. What are you talking about? So that's genuinely my level of planning, just so you're aware. Like, that's not me joking. I do not plan things and book things. However, maybe is the answer. Ian, finally finished Volcus onto Hearthkin, which is a great change. That is a very different hobby project to Volcus, I agree. I did enjoy doing my Volcus, I must say. Kiwi Commander, TY for answering my question. They were not listed on the rotation image. Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not, but maybe I am. there you go. Here in time for the double hello. Glad to see you, Dream, my robot. You what? Thought you'd sacked that off. Ooh, don't know what we're talking about now. My bad, my bad, my bad. Kaz says here for the wholesomeness. Always wholesome, sometimes genuine. That's me. Kill Team and soda reviews, I'm down for that. Oh yeah, no, I'm really cracking through the soda brands, let me tell you that. I've done all the big European brands now, confirming they're local before buying, of course, and tasting. Tried a new one the other day called Green Cola. It's from Greece. Not bad, must say. No artificial sweeteners, and yet low sugar. So interesting. Too expensive though. I won't be getting that again. But yeah. Massive props to Bruce. Yes, myself, the Gaslighter. Thank you. Thoughts on Warp Coven? I don't like Warp Coven. There you go. They're still too powerful. I was actually just doing a... earlier today, I did a stats review for the patrons only, because for some reason, when I do stats reviews on the main channel, people don't like to watch them from me, which is very sad and upsetting. I do have it all here on the screen, so we could look at that again. But yeah, Warp Coven are still doing incredibly strong. Still need another nerf, unfortunately. They're not my vibe, unfortunately. There you go. Although everything's my vibe at one point or another, right? I do get into it. Had a Shadowrun character named Zero Charisma. That's quite amusing. I like it. You should revive him. Johnny says, great job, Andy. You're my go-to bloke for Kill Team. Thanks a lot. I'm the only person with a Kill Team channel, so glad to hear it. Thank you. I've always said, if you're the only option, you're the best option by default. And that's how I've lived my life and gone ahead in it, to be honest with you. But it hasn't gotten me head. Woo! Wow. Firing on all cylinders there. Truly amazing. Hence, Zero Charisma. Yeah. Be sure to put sunscreen on the head. I normally just wear a cap, but yeah, cap before sunscreen. But yeah, I do. Thank you. You got to, otherwise I burn instantly. Sometimes in England, when the grey clouds part for about half a second, I'm done. That's me. Finished. Teeth Sink. Hey, a glass. Hello, Teeth Sink. How's it going? Are you Eric's friend? Is that where I'm remembering the name from? I'm not remembering the name. I feel like I've seen the avatar from somebody else, basically. I'm excited to play Sanctifiers. I wanted GK, but I'm hyped. Yeah, nothing's quite Grey Knights, is it? But yeah. Yeah. What it do, Cookie Boo? Yes, Kieran. It crumble it. You know, I've always said that's the way the cookie crumbles. And that is still true. Gravity still exists. So, good. Lee Burns, it's cool. You can hate the Sanctifiers. I can take it. For me, it's always been the weird human scale. Because no, I get you. I'm not against like all Imperium teams, right? Like I like some of them, but the Sanctifiers specifically, who are just, let's be honest, dudes in a bunch of sundresses, didn't really do it for me, if I'm honest. That's all. Apart from like one or two of the models, but the team as a whole isn't really my vibe. Finish the Nemclaw before this box arrives. Totally agree with you. Nemclaw, good team. Everyone should be playing Nemclaw. They should be one of the default staple teams. I do think they're very good. Gin of the Sheep, yo. What is up? Yo. Gin, somebody just mentioned a tournament in Bristol. I assume you could enlighten me. Is it the big one in June? Which I think is that a UKTC one? Perhaps? I don't know. Did you know a Kill Team preview was coming at AdeptCon? No. I'm pretty sure I would have said it somewhere over the last 2 weeks, but I assumed it wasn't going to come. I figured it would get skipped because we've just had a box. Sorry, I've just had a box. You guys don't even have the box. We've just had this stuff revealed, and then you're gonna get it. Like, we're going to find out what the next box is, I assume. Or maybe a roadmap. Maybe it's just a roadmap. That, I don't think you'd get a full Adepticon reveal for just a roadmap, though. You'd have to have something. And maybe that something is the Tyranid terrain, which we will talk about in a moment, yeah. That's right, yes. Well, because last time, Teeth Sync, you said you were friends with a friend who was Swedish. And I was like, I don't know if I have any Swedish friends. Teeth Sync, tell Eric, I've tried to contact him by Discord, Facebook and Instagram, and he does not respond to me. So he is no longer my friend, just so you're aware, until he talks to me. Just, that's the harsh reality of the world. There you go. But I might be, I haven't bought a ticket. I haven't bought a ticket to the Troll Trader tournament yet, but I very vaguely might be going because one of my locals is going, and that normally means I can jump in the car and go. That's my level of commitment. If I could just jump in and go, I might 50-50 do it. But undecided. Obviously, it's my old stomping ground, so I might just go even without a ticket, or might play. Don't know. How's that working? I assume that you are going. Are they doing it as a case of the shop staff are going to be the TOs, or are they getting one of the locals like yourself, perhaps, to be the TO, and they're just hosting? Dudes in a bunch of sundresses for the win? Yes. The train tease was a NIDS thing, update on a piece from the Battle of McCrag box. Was it? Okay. Interesting. What is tonight's hoodie? This is just my merch. Yeah, it's just my merch. In a nice vibrant red. Can't complain, can't complain. June is the UKTC. I have the box. You have Blood and Zeal already? I have to scroll up. Okay, alright. Great. You got it early? Damn. Classic GW, the box isn't even in people's hands before we see the next one. Yeah, it's crazy. Map would be nice. I did a video about it, I think. I think I've released it. I might not have. I haven't yet. For non-patrons, that video is coming tomorrow. It's me talking about a roadmap for Kill Team. So ignore what I was about to say. You'll see it tomorrow. There you go. Go for it painting. Hello. Hello, go for it painting. Or GFIT, if you will. Eric, the old Oodsicle. Good to see you, my man. #1 fan. Love me a roadmap. Love to hear it, sir. Love to hear it. Sorry about that whole Age of Sigmar thing. Love a NIDS box. We'd all love a NIDS box. Even the people that don't like NIDS, at this point, they're like, yeah, we should probably have NIDS. Adam, yes, good. He is very elusive. I agree, yeah. Only 2 seasons. Yeah, I agree. It's mad. Mad. Anyway, maybe it's coming now. We need a Phobos replacement, so Imperium team needs to be in that playstyle. If it's Tyranids, the logical answer is Deathwatch. And I don't think there's any way to sidestep that. Right? We've already had a standard Imperial Guard type team with Aquilons. Otherwise, I could have said we could have had like a specialist Tyranid Hunter Imperial Guard regiment, like maybe Katachan. But I'd probably say this is the time. This is the time. Big box. Big box none of us will be able to get a hold of. Right? It will be Deathwatch versus Tyranids. Oh my god. Instant orgasm. 7th of June. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Tricky Elite Team. Hello, Grey Knight Rumors. I wish. I wish. Nids versus Deathwatch. Yep, exactly. Agreed. You just commented on my comment about Admech Stilt. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. The Stilt guy. I will tell you directly, if there's an Admech kill team of Stiltsmen, I will give all. In fairness, so I think the Stilt Admech guy is possibly the worst model in the game. Let me tell you this. Let me give you a quick rendition of how that went for me. I was trying to get my girlfriend vaguely interested in Warhammer, right? And there was a reveal coming out, and so she watched my video where I did that reveal, and it's like, oh, it's a stilt guy, and he's the worst looking model I've ever seen, and I can't imagine, you know, it's just like, oh, yeah, okay, all right, well, that's yeah. Let's just say the room dried up that night, you know, if you get what I'm saying, guys, all because of Stiltsman there. However, a full team of stilts guys, I'm in. I'm sold. You do, like, let's do it. I understand the concept now. Yeah. Yeah, because it would be terrible, but it would be funny. It would be a meme, and it would be GW making it a meme, and I'd be like, yeah, cool, let's do it. I get it. I'm in. I would like that. Have these models already been nerfed in the app? Oh, no, we're gonna have to wait 3 months for that. GHG doesn't additional models. He's already thinned down his model count. That's not true. I did one additional model. I don't have an admech team. Sorry. I mean, for the Sanctifiers, I built a 12th model. I bought a whole box of Cordor Gangers to build one model. That's dedication to the Hobbs. To the Hobbs. Hello, Glass and chat. How is everyone? Everyone is lovely. And we shall not hear any dissent on that matter. Thank you. Lol, YouTube launched a commercial the moment you got to... Nice, I like it. That means... Yeah. You got to go premium or you got to block ads. YouTube is insane when it comes to the adverts. Legit. It's mad. What about Admech defending the big gun versus Nids? I mean, so obviously Admech and the gun make sense. 100%, you could kind of twist that any way you like. Admech are a logical choice at any point because they're Imperium and they are everywhere. Nids, the gun, I don't know. You could always say, oh, there was a hive spore node cluster that we didn't notice halfway up the barrel. 5,000 miles into the atmosphere, the sensors started bugging out, and then we found it. You know, you can do anything. You can do anything. You can always make that work. But, don't know. Jim Crimmins, of course, I did just see you tagged by Siege Painting, I think. Or your, not tagged, but your comment. I can't remember what it was, but that was amusing. We need more squigs in Kill Team, or just in general. Wow. The thing is, we're only going to get squigs with orcs. Could we have an all-squig team? Yes. Would that be ridiculous? Yes, you've sold me on it. But it's going to be a while till we get more squigs. But we will get more squigs because even GW understands that we must always have orcs in every game they do. Good. I'm going to come rent a narrow boat for a month and put around at some point when I do you owe me a game of something at a pub along the canals. Sounds good? Sounds good? It's also really good to hear that the US still allows people to leave. You still have some freedoms, I guess. That's good to hear. Still model is going, yeah, obviously. Obviously. If Admech gets the Kill Team box, I hope it's more Cult Mech and less Skitarii. Oh, you want more like the priests, right? As opposed to Rangers and Skitarii dudes, right? My boyfriend got me into Warhammer. I don't think he was prepared for just how... Good, I say. And the way he got you in was by not showing you Admech Stiltman. Let's be clear. If that had been the first introduction, nah. Doesn't make any sense to anybody. Yeah. Inspector Admech, indeed. Oh, he's so bad. But I would, you know? 6 stilt men, and the meta of the game is how many break during each turning point. Yeah, like it. Filing an official request of dissent. Oh, nice. Well, feel free. Squigs versus Nurgling, so that would be fire. The thing that I do like the GW has cottoned on to, of course, is the fact that GW has figured out that people like little pets, and that they put that into things. So I do like that. You know, we've got the battle mutt, we've got the little Vespid drone, we've got the servo drone for the servo turret. We've got I guess all the rattling. Well, they have the battle mutt, but also just a rattling is also a little pet. Wrecker crew gets squigs. We have the cherub. So Goremongers are the first team out of 6 to not have a cool pet. Therefore, they lose by default. Worst kill team so far. There's a beautiful hoodie. I think I might bug my wife to let me get one. Unfortunately, it is my old logo, because I just have not been bothered to update any of my merch, because who cares? But you can technically buy it still, I think, because when you put it on that Teesprings or whatever, it just stays there forever. So I set all of my merch to be the cheapest possible thing, so I make no money off them, by the way. There you go. There you go. Full KT of just squigs. Man, it would be fun. They could all have random movement. D6 move. Squigs. Huzzah. Why the jazz music in the background? This is a jazz piano version of the Helldivers theme. We can swap away from that and go to the actual theme, if that's better. But this felt a little bit too intense for what I'm, you know, for my energy levels. I felt like this is a bit much, if I'm honest. Like, I'm suddenly, because the music is now so hype, you're seeing how, like, slow I am, you know? I think that the jazz piano lent you into kind of an understanding, a cadence provided from the background music to let you know my energy levels, right? Just to clarify, if anyone does have questions about Blood and Zeal, please do ask them, right? Because I do have the book here. I can open any page for you. We can look at anything in there. We can talk about anything to do with it. That is, in general, the concept for this stream. But yeah, if not, you see, it's all about that jazz, man. That was so much energy from that epic Helldivers rendition. Oof, I need to calm down, because that was a bit much, if I'm honest. This is way more my thing. As long as you guys can hear it, just tinkling on the keys, if you will, in the background, that's vibes. That's my vibes. That's my energy level. Yes, more priests, less line soldiers. I think priests are more interesting as visuals. Okay, I suppose. They definitely need more, that's for sure. Because they don't have much at all in the game. So, got my wife into KT via Death Guard. Now she paints and hobbies way more than I do and has been streaming almost every day. That's awesome. What's her stream name? So Death Guard are such a confusing faction for me. I just don't get them. I want to be clear, before people start trying to sell me on them, I have had a Death Guard army. I think Death Guard are pretty awesome. Sometimes. But they are always the first faction that I mentally step back from quite quickly. Because you get the other Chaos Gods, right? You've got violence. You've got trickery. Shenanigans, that makes sense. You've got excess. Yeah. Like legit excess. What is the one thing that in our modern life, you know, these are all vices in our modern life that we understand. And then you get Stinky Dude. Like, you know, that's not a vice, right? It's like, it's a thing. It's not a vice that one has. So I don't know. I feel like Nurgle is truly the odd one out. I think some of the best renditions of Nurgle have actually been the opposite of the way GW has lent into it. They've gone fat stinky boys, I really like the more skeletal, deathly, you know, stuff, where it's like, oh, guy's fucked up. Yeah, more kind of wasting as opposed to pooping. I don't know. But they didn't go that way. They still look awesome. But anyway. You've got the cat. Yes, the cute little robot. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But I was referring to mainly the new edition. Because, of course, it took GW some time to figure out that they needed cute little dudes in every team. Definitely agree with more non-Skitarii advent. 100% agreed. I've been playing Warcry lately. Awesome, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. I wish Kill Team had more of the flexibility of list building and adding more monsters and such. Imagine a Kill Team going to back asymmetrical skirmish. I agree. I agree. I think relatively concerning that Adepticon doesn't have a Warcry preview, because if we stick to the 3-year timeline, this was about time for Warcry to get it something. Unless they're doing a full reset and they want to give it proper, like, proper something, like, yeah. It's either the death knell and we will never hear about Warcry again, or they're going to go hard on Warcry in about 2 months' time, when it should re-release in June, July. I hope they re-release, and I hope it goes hard. Genuinely. That'd be awesome. And they totally revamp the system, basically. I already have a bullet-pointed script, bullet points, called, you know, some standard clickbait, Warcry's dead, or whatever, with the alternative title that I would open that little video with being, aka, guy that never played Warcry tells you how to play Warcry, or tells you how Warcry should be, something like that. A guy that doesn't play enough Warcry tells you how Warcry should change, because I'm fully aware that, you know. But yes, I would love Warcry to be a thing. It is not a thing at the moment, but there are many things about it I do like. Jazz Riot agreed. Glass, where do you rank the new teams on the tier list? I don't know, man. For me, they were such an interesting teams. I think they're going to be. I did say various power levels in my reviews. I will assume that they are both mid to high. I don't think either of them are going to be bad, but they're also quite complex. And so until we see what they actually do and how they actually perform, I think everybody looking at them saying, "Oh my god, broken," probably are your standard internet keyboard warriors. They might be right, but I wouldn't really listen to people that say that before they've played these teams. I certainly try to always play a team before I say anything about it, because there have been times where I've read things and I thought, that's crazy, and then I've played it and it's like, oh, that's fine. And also, obviously, the other way around, I thought, that seems fine, and then it's absolutely insane. So Kill Team is definitely the kind of game where, obviously there are outliers, but you probably want to put something on the table, especially when it's many small things like this, I would say. That's me being very rational and calm, thanks to the smooth background jazz, to be clear. Where do you rank the new teams on the tier list? What new element does the statue add to the game? You know what? Because I've set it up, I'm going to show you. Allow me to shrink myself quickly. Here we go. Let me show you what the thing does. The statue does, right? First things, it shows you how some ideas of ways you could defile the statue. It does note that some of the things it adds are additional sprues. There are no sprues in here as ways to kind of, it tells you, like, you know, drill stuff, add chains, add things from other sprues, blah, blah, blah. But what it actually does is right here, the shrine statue, it just lets you tap 2 things when you're within control range of it. That's 1 inch, obviously. And here it is. It allows you to interact with the card system, which is the blood cards and the Zeal cards. That's it. It doesn't actually do anything else inherently. But of course, you can make it do anything you want. It's all made up. Just make it do what you want, you know? What new element does it say? Overall thoughts on Blood and Zeal worth the hype? Has it been hyped? I feel like it's been really low-key. Maybe that's just my view on it, but I feel like there haven't been that many people hyped for it. So yes, worth the hype. There you go. Easy. I will say, for me personally, it is my least interesting box of the edition. But that's fine, because before that was Orcs, amazing. Imperial Guard, awesome. Before that, Imperial Guard, awesome. Vespid, that's Tau. Like, honestly, this season so far has been banger after banger for me personally, so yeah. The statue. This is one of my now 3 statues. It's there. Nice. What nerfs do I want? Hey, as long as people don't run them into me, I don't need them to have nerfs. There you go. And I don't think anybody in my meta wants to play them, so bye mummy. There you go. Our both seems utterly mid in terms of strength, but we're going to have a Felgor style cracked release. Online would imply it's going to be cracked. It's going to be cracked. I don't know though. So I've got to jump to this. Ian Hayward donates £5. Thank you so much, Ian. A true ledge there, a true supporter, a true follower of the Codex Hydrates. Thank you. What a ledge. Staying hydrated all day, every day. Thanks to Ian. What a ledge. Too kind. Yeah, everybody, since the leak happened on like Thursday or whatever, everybody is utterly convinced that these 2 teams are gonna break the game, and they are gonna be absolute yes tier. Katie Gore beats Sanct IMO. Oh yeah, I think so. Again, I mean, I've kind of said all my thoughts in the 2 videos, or the 4 videos I put out, but I think that we're gonna see Goremongers do quite consistently well across the board, because they can be played simply as just charge forwards, kill stuff, and it looks like they also have quite a few tricks to get the most out of them. So I think they're going to be doing quite well at all levels of play. I think the Sanctifiers, you never quite know with that. The thing is, if you play them and it turns out that yes, they're fragile, but actually the trick to make them win is really, really simple, and it's just like, oh, in the strategic gambit step, full, you know, charge with all your models, because you can do that. It's like, oh, well, that's not then an interesting trick, is it? So it will depend on what their trick is to win the game. Both teams are mid. Katie Gore, yep. Nurgle, I feel, is sloth, laziness, decay through inaction. I guess I just like thin decay. You know, if you think about, I can't remember what his name is. It's the Harbinger of Despair, I think. Harbinger of Decay from Sigmar, who was like one of the banger models, who was, you know, death on his horse. Straight out of a Frank Frazetta painting, basically. I thought that was amazing. I instantly went and bought that. And I want Nurgle like that. There you go. I do understand what you're saying, Sloth. That is fair. That is fair. But I don't think Nurgle is sloth. He's fat, yes, but they don't focus on the fatness. That's just an aspect. They focus on how stinky they are. And unfortunately, although I say that as in a slightly higher pitch, and therefore to make you think I'm being funny, not really. I've read books. I've read Nurgle books, and they do just go on about viscera and shit and vomit. I was like, all right, I guess. They don't go on about how slow and lazy and pondering they are. You've got to take the text at face value when there is no subtext. That's all I'm saying. And unfortunately, GW doesn't do subtext. Insert Garth Morangian quote, please. Thank you, chat. She loves her Nurgle boys and their little grubby demons, lol. She's Skunky Pufferfish. Okay, well, go check out Skunky Pufferfish on Twitch, everybody. We had a pandemic like 3 seconds ago, and Nurgle isn't modern relevant. Did I say he wasn't relevant? I did not. I said that he's not a vice, whereas the others are a vice. The others are an emotion, I feel, and I don't think stinking is an emotion. I agree, obviously, that pandemic, disease, the Black Plague, etc. is relevant. But I'm not talking about relevancy. I'm talking about things that we aspire to be. We aspire to be stronger, we aspire to be smarter, we aspire to have a bigger dick. But I don't think we just aspire to being a fat piece of shit. To be honest with you. Clip that, because it's facts. Pestilence, one of the 4 horsemen. So yes, no, I agree. Pestilence is fine. Yes. But Nurgle isn't Pestilence. When do you think Kill Team 24 will have the same balance between teams? Ooh. When was I saying this? Oh, I was saying this at the end of the Patreon video I just did today. I'm not going to get that negative. I think the GW is struggling with this edition. Or, alternatively, sorry, maybe that's not true. Maybe this is exactly what they want this edition to be. But it's not, obviously. Sorry, let's not softball things. So, it seems like GW is in the process of attempting to change its rule set right after having released its rule set. They've given themselves their core framework, which is quite light, and now they're realizing it's not the sturdiest rule set, and so they're actively trying to patch in things like it's called order of operations and timing and all these things that just aren't in there at all. And they're like, oh, we kind of need these. And they do. They did need them. But they've already done that. And they're not just giving us a document that outright says XXX, YYY. And so they're having to put in timings. And so, for example, the medic thing, that's a very good point about what timing could be considered as. Like, so unfortunately, they can't just give us an additional document and say, hey, here's how timing works. Here's an order of operations for all of Kill Team. Because they've kind of written everything inconsistently without the framework, a timing framework attached to their rule set. And so they have to change everything so that they can then add a timing framework. I'm going to cough, and therefore I'm going to mute myself. One moment. Hopefully you enjoyed that smooth jazz. And so I think they're focusing perhaps more on core rules and things they need to change to hammer the rule set, the square rule set into a round hole, something like that. I don't know how that metaphor works. And again, I was just saying this earlier today on the Patreon. I have a huge bias against this. My little Salisbury Kill Team crew was four people, 4 guys. And one of them's a Marine player. He only wants to play Marines, doesn't care about anything else. And he basically got rid of two of the people. So there's only 2 of us that play now, really. Really. Like, the other one played sometimes. Then the other guy's just gone because he lost to Marines too many times. And he just doesn't want to do that again. The Marine player only wants to play Marines, which is fine. It's what he wants to play. But I genuinely think that Marines are not where they should be. There you go. Obviously that was a little bit close to the heart as it took out half of my local scene. So there you go. Cheese is a vice. That's a fair point. I hadn't considered that cheese is a vice. That's true. I just had some cheese before I went on. So, fair point. Enjoy your how to play videos on the new teams. It's fun to get a take before the sort of received internet wisdom begins to solidify. I hear everything's super broken apparently. That is what everybody online says. Yes, everybody says that both teams are completely OP broken. So I'd probably listen to them instead of me. So there you go. Admech Stiltman versus old Dreadnought with the short legs and huge square body. amazing. I'm into it. I'm into it. I love it. Mordheim has been mentioned twice on official GW posts. It feels like they're going to turn Warcry into new Mordheim, mess it up so everyone continues to play the original. Potentially, I'm okay with that. Just a new rule set would be good. Failing that, just don't do Necromunda style book releases for Mordheim. That's all they got to do. Don't ruin it that way, right? Because that's the worst release system I've ever seen. Into the Dark with Old World tie-in. Oh, so it'd work. Yes, that'd be amazing. I'd love that. They basically take Cursed City and make it a skirmish game that you can list build with. Yeah, I'm in. Balls deep. You've got to play as or into a team 2 to 3 times before you get a feel of how strong a team. I completely agree. Yes. Thoughts on new applications of auras hinted at with these kill teams? What do you mean applications of auras? Auras have existed in the game before. The Sanctifier team is obviously very, very heavy about you must be in this aura. If you are out of this aura, you suck. But we've had auras. Yeah. What do you mean? Can you see the statue being used in... No. To be clear, outside of the initial kill zone release, none of the terrain is considered to be used in a tournament setting. You could put it in a tournament if you want, but you wouldn't use the rules for it. It would just be a piece of terrain. So you could do that. It has quite wide wings and will get knocked over though. The corn guys are kind of interesting, but definitely not enough to make me want the box. That's fair. That's fair. You know, that's the good thing though. If you just want one thing, just buy it on eBay. It's going to be everywhere. I am sad the Confessor can't take a shotgun like the old model. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. That would be cool. Adding a shotgun always elevates a model. Let's be honest. Any model, let's be honest. 4 statues are better than 3. Agreed, agreed. I need to clearly get on eBay and buy a 4th. Gormugs are Felgor Ravagers on roids. I would be very interested to see how the two play into each other. I don't think it's... Felgor are incredibly strong. I would struggle to say that the Gormongers are Felgor on roids. It might be the other way around. But again, until I've played that, because that's a very strange matchup, based on how those two teams want to play, Felgor especially, I don't know who would win that. Zingbo, I think the Harbinger Decay is a really amazing model, despite me not liking Nurgle much at all. Totally agree, right there with you. I think everybody agreed with that. And I'm sure somebody at GW was like, oh no, we messed up. We went fat death, not thin death. Whoops. Yeah, cringe. Cringe. On the Nurgle discourse, actually a big part in a lot of fights against Nurgles is how fast they are despite being so big and decayed. Okay. Fair. So the only one I've read is it's Lords of Silence? I think. Lords of something. I don't recall it. It's been a while since I read it, so I will believe you. But I don't remember it. Nurgle suggests you poach an egg in tomato soup with a slice of pork pie. Yes. You've lost me on that one. That just sounds like a good meal. I don't know what to say. Yeah, true. AOS has more interesting takes on chaos deities, but no, I'll keep reading the subtext that isn't there. I don't want pandemic flashbacks. So I actually really like what AOS has done with Slanesh. I think that's super cool. I also like yeah. Again, it's only the Nurgle I don't like in Sigmar. I think every other iteration of the demons and the Chaos Gods there is cool. So, hell yeah. Would you say that both teams are a 2-box team? No. No, not at all. So with the Goremongers, you just build it as it says in the instructions. And likewise, I think that with the Sanctifiers, you just build them as it says in the instructions, except instead of building the plasma gun, build the melter gun. Done. And then I don't think you need anything else. I would consider them 2 1-box teams. There are additional options you can build, but I don't think you need to. Darth, pronunciation of merengue. Is it not merengue? Did I say it in a different way? I don't know. I do find it kind of weird how the wording got in many ways less clear when New Edition implies, yeah. They cleared up the core rules, but I don't know. I feel like they could have spent another 6 months figuring out how they wanted the game to actually work outside of simplifying the core rules to be easier for newcomers, which they did a great job on, but they then kind of forgot to iterate on the game at all after that, and I think that was perhaps a slight mishap on their part. It's not meant to be balanced, forget about balance. I assume, of course, we're talking about the statue there and how unbalanced it is when you play with it physically. I'm making a gravity joke. After looking at the optics for Goremongers, do you think there are any special you wouldn't run or are situational? Maybe, I don't know, I'm not good enough. Cyrac, I don't know who that is. John, never heard of him. Thought of a lot of recent things were OP, not very cool, it's played out. Yeah, we don't need to, I don't care what other people say, to be honest with you. So good for him. I would say that anybody doing release day content is rushing to get content out of the door, and you shouldn't believe anything they say. There you go. They might be right, coincidentally, but they might also be wrong. You've got to understand, you get given a box, and we all have lives, we all have work. We've got to do things, okay? And then also, to a deadline, make a bunch of content, and probably also a bunch of hobby. I really wouldn't take, I wouldn't put too much stock in anything anybody says for release day content. Across the entire internet, I would say. Unless somebody comes back with receipts for how much they played 18, don't, you know. Take what they say as serious as you would take a tier list, aka not at all, it's a fun conversation starter and that's it. That's what I'd say. Lol, does anyone actually know how to get the rules? No, nobody knows. Or yes, they do. It's on, there's a website. There's a website and that's where you get everything. Because you don't buy those books. Because they are way too thick. Way too many books for Necromunda is mad. He thought Vespers were OP at first. Vespers are absolutely cracked broken. Can't believe they'd never be nerfed. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I ordered some eBay prints to run more preachers for the new Vatican team. Great, glad to hear it. I listened to a Nurgle audio drama and the Nurgle guy was preaching to an Ultramarine about how eventually everyone, even Marines, will be a rotting, decaying mass. And I was like, you kind of... Just because somebody's right doesn't mean they're interesting. Oh, we could apply that to a few YouTubers that currently seem to be being talked about in my chat for reasons because I don't care about them. So let's move on from that. You got the pronunciation right. First time was wild. Oh, okay, all right. Really? Oh, okay. I don't know what I said. Started reading Night Lord's book and really want to play Nemclaw, have a big pile of shit. Just do it, my man. Just do it. I know a lot of people have been really inspired by Night Lords. Do you know, minor aside, Ian, during the first tournament at Warhammer World, in the last edition, oh dear, in the last edition, Kill Team 21, Elliot was playing. Elliot and the product designer, I think his name's Tom, I can't remember. I met him, and then I met him again at the recent Hivestorm kind of preview event thing for creators. And also the lead Kill Team playtester, Wes, were all playing in that first tournament. And at the end of it, I took up my rulebook and said, can you cringe, but can you sign this rulebook for me, please, if you're willing? Obviously, because I was just trying to hack his bank details, I needed his signature, right? but he signed it from the Night Lords trilogy, Ave Dominus. What is it? Ave Dominus Nex, Rex, Hex, something, whatever, right? Because he's a big Night Lords fan. There he goes, and that's how he chose to sign off my rulebook. There you go. And presumably then his signature, I assume. Night Lords trilogy is excellent. I didn't get into it, the Night Lords trilogy, actually, which is a real shame. I don't know why. But yeah. Nobody knows who I'm talking about. Just ignore. I don't watch his content, so very easy to ignore, yeah. Real question, how was the South Coast GT? Now we're talking. Best on YouTube that I know of. Nox, thank you. Thank you, guys. Don't know what it means, but it's fine. Because I haven't read the Night Lords trilogy. Love to know best on YouTube that I know of. Real question, how's the South Coast GT? I'm just gonna, yeah. How was the South Coast GT? Great question. Yes, good. Obviously, the shout out really goes to Bruce on that one. I think, off the top of my head, I think first and second place were Corsairs though. So that's always awkward when the first team, like when one team comes first and second, it's like, sorry. But then third was Night Lords. Nemesis Claw, that's the word. So that's interesting. And then fourth was Phobos, actually. So, you know, interesting. Interesting stuff is all I'm saying. So, but placings don't really matter. I think it was a 60, I'm going to say 4 player event, but 51 turned up. So there was a bye. But the bye got a game off of one of the helpers every turn, so that was nice. I do think that in a tournament that size, you've got to have a ringer in case, because like you've paid a lot of money, you're there for the day, you want games. Now, for me, if I get the bye the first round, I'm taking that game. If I get the bye the second round, I'll probably take the game. Third and fourth, I'm happy to have off. Don't you worry, buddy. But yeah, so luckily we had a ringer there for the bye. That was good. And it wasn't me, thank God, because who plays Kill Team? Cringe. Am I right? Am I right? And there were some interesting questions asked, which I will throw to the chat. I do intend to do a little kind of summary video for this, but looking at how things are, yeah. Jin, didn't you say that Corsairs weren't that good and that's why you stopped playing them? I seem to recall that. Also, you know old Tallboy from Bristol? I'm going to say this again. When I played him round 1 of your tournament, Jin, I did say, Corsairs, I hear they're pretty good. And he said, nah, not really. And then I gave him 4 takebacks, 4 offers of a takeback throughout that game, and he took every one. Ever since, I stopped offering people takebacks. Outrageous. Anyway, moving on. Hashtag not bitter. But, no, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I've got a few interesting rulings that came up of questions. They're quite fun. And I do intend to do a video covering this because I did take a few pictures and a few little videos of kind of the hall before everybody filtered in and how dead it was, and then a few after everybody was in there, that kind of thing. And then I'll just say, it was a good day, everybody should do a tournament, yay. If there was any kind of sour apples between any opponents, it never made it up to the TOs. It seemed to us like everybody was getting on. There was no explosions, no fury, unless it was on the table at the dice, I presume. But yeah, no, it was a good one. It was a really good one. It didn't suffer from the same issue that the last UKTC event I went to, where I played in, that was cold as balls. This one got a little bit warm, which is what you would expect, and good. So did you actually answer any TO-related questions, or did you always get Bruce? As mentioned at the beginning, you might have missed it, Jin. I consider myself more as a tournament gaslighter. So I'm a TG, not a TO, tournament gaslighter. Anytime I walk past the table, I just kind of point at a random thing and say, nah, that's not how that works. And then just kind of move on like a breeze in the night, just to confuse people, you know, really make them question whether or not they know how the game works. Yes, I often got Bruce, that is correct. Yes, so if there was anything I wasn't completely sure, or if there was anything that wasn't like, do I have line of sight, do I have blah blah blah, I basically went to get Bruce to give him the final call, unless I 100% knew the answer, which I did sometimes, as they were the more beginner questions. But there were some interesting ones that I didn't have the answer to, because it's open for interpretation, and as soon as something's open for interpretation, I'm just going to let the TO answer, because it doesn't matter what the answer is, you just have to be consistent, and the TO gets to decide what that consistency is. So how about I tell you what those questions are? I can do that. Here we go. Pull this over to here. Good stuff. Tournament gaslighter, that's me. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so can I bring them up so that we can see the act? No, that's going to take too long. I will do this in the actual video of it, but basically, first one was, so for example, the Corsairs have this, I know. This came up with the Corsair question. There is shooting through stronghold door. So can you shoot through a stronghold door when you are in melee? For example, the Corsairs have the Starstorm Duelist. You've gone up to the door. We know you can hatch fight. But, of course, the Corsairs and also the Felgor Ravager's Flux Spray, I think, allow you to shoot when in melee. Can they shoot instead of hatchway fight when you're at the stronghold door, basically? With this, we went with a very raw take of no, you cannot. I don't like that interpretation. I think it is very counterintuitive to how the rules should be played. Yeah, there you go. However, we ruled no, because raw, you can't. There you go. When you read through it all, it's very clear that you can't shoot through that stronghold door, but I do not think that is the intention. Indeed, Jin, raw, you can't. I do not think that is GW's intention. They might not change it, but that just doesn't track with how they've ruled how the stronghold doors work. But we ruled that as a no. Then you've got fight first. I put hit first here. That's not quite what it is. So if you have a fight first, like the Kroot ploy, where it says that you just get to resolve the first attack dice, you then have a different type of wording, which says that you get to, which many people colloquially will also call a fight first, but you're not actually getting a fight first. Instead, you are able to resolve an attack dice first outside of the normal attack order. We ruled that as being a separate thing. So if you both play that, if whoever has fights first has the fight first, and whoever has resolve an attack dice outside of the normal order first, then instead of cancelling each other out or going to initiative or activation order, whatever it is, when you both do the same thing, resolving an attack dice outside of the normal order trumps it, because fighting first makes you go first in the normal order, but outside of the normal order is outside of that. There you go. I think that was the correct way, but it certainly isn't super clear-cut on that one, I would say. Then Tempestus drop markers. I called this one, but luckily the TO saved me on this one. So we know that on Gallowfall, Tempestus Aquilons, you've got your drop marker. We know that you can move that through walls, no problem. I thought that you could move that through a wall, sure, but then if you wanted to drop, you could still drop to the other side of a wall. But it seems relatively clear that you can't. You can... This is the problem with walls, but basically you can make the move through because there is a specific piece of wording in how the Tempestus Aquilon drop marker works that says you can measure it, you can measure the move through a Gallowful wall. But once you have then placed it again, basically the walls come back up, and so your drop radius again gets shrunk, so and hindered by the walls. Whereas I had originally said, well, yeah, if you can move this thing through the wall, of course you could drop through the wall. Why wouldn't you be able to? Because you can't, I guess. We then had a really interesting one, which was the Void Dancer. The Void Dancer player wanted to do Murderous Entrance immediately followed by Curtain Falls, which basically, if you get a crit, you can then immediately fall back, but Curtain Falls lets you do like a crit, then a hit, and then you fall back with the... I was like, how does that stack? How does that work? Can you do it at all? I can't remember how we actually ruled it in the moment, but we basically went to ask Bart, how do you play this? Because he knew. There you go. I don't know if I agree with his interpretation, but I know that Bart plays very raw. So if in doubt, you should probably just call it raw. Yeah, so there you go. There was also another interesting one right at the start from one of the Kill Team Brighton guys, which is Gallowful walls. You know, we've just had the you can't get cover and obscuring for the same piece of terrain. How does that interact with Gallowful? Is a wall the same part of terrain as the pillar? Is each piece of the wall, as you set it up, is that its own piece of terrain? So, how does it interact with where a wall ends? You know, like door ends and such. We ruled it as every piece of connected terrain is one piece of terrain. So on most Into the Dark maps, that means that there's just one piece of heavy terrain, really. But there are some Into the Dark maps where, you know, you have a separate small wall with the wall ends. That is a second piece of terrain. I think that's the way it should be ruled. I think if we think about the reason why they removed that from regular Kill Team, not just Into the Dark, clearly they'd want to stop that from happening. So ruling a pillar and a wall as being the different pieces of terrain, I think just allows you to get that back, which seems silly, so I wouldn't allow that. But yeah. Yeah. Would have said no, read the Void Dancer one. I can't remember what we said. But yeah, again, I will go and read through both of the ploys before I do that video. And so when I talk about it on in the video, they will be on the screen, so we actually see the exact wording. Because that's what matters here, isn't it? It doesn't matter us saying, well, you kind of hit twice, I guess, and then maybe there's a crit. I don't know. So we should actually know the wording instead of me just roughly saying what it was. So you would have said no. Oof, you're going to move that guy there? Yeah, that is exactly what I was trying to do, to gaslight people. Chase. Would have said no, read the Void Dancer one. I believe you just fall back after you resolve the first attack, so the ability to use 2 attacks doesn't matter. Fair, fair. So that wasn't what Bart said, but we went, Bruce went to Bart after he ruled, because I didn't know the answer. So I said, Tioga decides, I don't know. And the way he would have ruled it was different, which is interesting. It's dependent on the dice rolled, right? Yes, it was dependent. So I think the only way you can do it is you have to get like 2 crits, something like that. I can't remember. Bruce explained it to me, but I can't remember what it was. Again, I will figure it out for the video. Have you seen the thing about how there are 2 different types of doors on Volcus for some reason? Yes, I've included that in some of my videos. There's stronghold doors and large ruin doors, and they work very differently. So yeah, I'm fully aware. Yeah, Void Darts aren't allowed to do anything. Screw them. I will say, random aside, some of you may be aware, I've been vaguely tinkering with the idea of getting into 40k and or Sigmar. Leaning towards Sigmar because I think Sigmar is the better game. However, you know, when you're dabbling, when you're thinking, when you're considering, when you're hypothesizing, when you're testing out the scientific method, when you're, you get me, about these different things, I've got to say, 40k, obviously 40k and Sigmar, 40k is its own beast. It is unique in how large it is, but all the 40k armies looked amazing. The tables looked crap because they were just like thin MDF, right? But that's tournament standard, so that's not an insult to UKTC. That is the terrain that tournament players want and use. But when you're seeing all of that and how cool it is, and how there's like 300 tables or whatever it is of 40k players, I obviously didn't expect Age of Sigmar to be as big as that. But I think there were 8 tables of Sigmar. And I was like, oh, what? So yeah, that was really a bit of a downer, actually. Like, as I said, I feel really invigorated about gaming, tabletop gaming, 40k, kill team, or tournament play in general after having been there. And quite genuinely, if I'd come back and Sigmar had been popping off with like 100 tables, even though that's less than the 200 tables for 40k, that could have really inspired me and grabbed me by the balls, so to speak. But it was actually a turn-off. Yeah, like I was like, oh, what the hell? Where is Age of Sigmar? Old World had more tables than Age of Sigmar. I was legit a bit shocked, and felt bad for a game that I'd basically already decided I probably didn't want to play, or like, you know, main. But yeah, that in a sense sealed the deal for me there, I've got to say, which is a real shame. You know? Yeah. Sad. Hashtag sad. Sad face. Sorry, right. Yeah, so if all you do is roll crits, you can do it. Okay, sure. 95% of kill teamers do. Facts, yeah. Yeah, Void Dancers need a nerf, by the way. In case people don't know, Warp Covenant Void Dancers need a nerf. Void Dancers need a proper nerf. Void Dancers were not winning because they got 1 inch of movement off of their climbs, okay? Like, Jesus. That wasn't the problem. Anyway, we'll let GW balancing department figure that one out. Because of course, I'm sure that all of the GW playtesters are well-paid individuals for their Warhammer contributions, and therefore they are putting in good, hard effort work because they are so well compensated. AOS army of choice? Don't know, man. But I've got my Stormcast here, Cities of Sigmar here. Upstairs, I've got Skaven, Ossiarch Bone Reapers, Lumineth, Seraphon, Slaves to Darkness. So, one of them, I guess. Oh, and Iron Jaws, 6. I've got 6 armies. So, any of those, any of those. Nice, we're trying to figure out the scenario where that question would happen in my head. Basically, the Void Dancer has to have 2 crits, no normal successes to combine employees. Right, gotcha. AOS is suffering at UKTC events. Ever since the new edition, they've shown interesting. I wonder why. I know that obviously I follow Honest Wargamer Rob, and he seems to say things are booming, but not at UKTC, which is a shame, because I do think, as I have just proved, that having a big showing at these events, even though you're not there to play that game, like legit, if it had been a big Sigmar showing, I would have felt confident in getting into it. And perhaps the next time I go, I could have gotten into Sigmar. Now, I'm a little bit turned off from Sigmar, which is lame. Yes, Old World had more tables than Age of Sigmar. All the same, I can't remember. To be clear, neither of them had many tables. Don't take that as meaning Age of Sigmar is popping off. I really don't think it is. Yeah. Age of Sigmar models are so cool. Like, just across the board, really great models. Yeah. And such a much more reasonable size as well. Like, the current top meta lists are like Stormcast and Slaves to Darkness and heavy elite builds. So your full 40k style fantasy game can have like 20 models. And that's like pretty reasonable, guys. It's pretty reasonable. I've heard AOS players don't get on with UKTC for some reason. Other tournaments seem to do okay though. Okay, well, yeah, good. But as I say, it's kind of, that's great. But you need it to be where people are, you know? You want to have a big scene at the 40k event so that the 40k players, because of course 40k has the most players, sees it. It is in its just playing games around other people is advertising for your game, you know? AOS here at the weekend seemed pretty distant. That is a real shame, to be honest. Yes, Jin, I have moved house to an actual house. Yeah. Not only do I have an upstairs, I have a loft. I put a lot of Warhammer in the loft. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Wish I hadn't sold like 5 40k armies before I moved. If I knew the loft was gonna be there, I would not have sold those armies, and I'm quite annoyed at it. But there you go. Daughters of Cain. Actually, everyone needs Daughters of Cain. You know it. You know it. Hello there. Guessing the read. Oh, no, Red Fear. Haven't done a read through. Nobody's been interested, so I'm just talking to chat. There you go. Haven't even talked about the Tyrannid terrain. Haven't even talked about the Tyrannid terrain. Mad. AOS tournament scene isn't through BCP related events, apparently. Okay. I mean, in fairness, BCP sucks. So good. But also, that's okay. Yeah. But they still need to happen, you know? But yes, so many options there. I have so many Sigmar minis for throwing at players when I run DD. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, Sigmar models look so good. They are, I do think, they are just objectively better than 40k models. Basically, across the board. Or since Sigmar released and stopped being old world fantasy and is now Sigmar, they've knocked every model out of the park, basically. So yeah. Whereas 40k has been very, very stagnant, which is of course thematically correct for 40k, but not creatively correct, I would argue. I have so many Sigmar models. When do I move in? Just hop on the boat. I hear it's a smooth ride. You come on over. Damn, I know. I started 40k in 3rd edition and still no idea what I'm doing. Yeah. 40k is a real interesting one for me. I just need to go and play it. If I want to get into it, I just have to go and play the game. And I haven't. And so every time I have played it, it's been into a player that's like just so much better than me, and he's stomped me even when he hasn't meant to. And so every game has been a bad experience, and that's a mistake. Don't do that. How much weight can those loft timbers take? You know, we're going to find out how many kilograms of plastic and paint will bring that down soon. We're getting to the limit. There's a slight bow in the ceiling, but I hear that's fine. You know, if it's plastic induced, it's fine. Forgot about the nid terrain. I know, right? I know. I'll talk about the Nid terrain in a moment because we've only got like 40 minutes left. So, how much weight can the, sorry, yep. Only book I don't buy. I can't get that sweet southern accent to read it to me. I know, right? I know. Hey, if people donate enough money, I will read an entire 40k book using my Southern American accent. And that's a guarantee. It's going to be a lot of money, to clarify, but I will do it. He must have done a Mary's book on his Patreon. No, I have not. Didn't see much of a point, really. The Mary's book kind of has fallen by the wayside because the rules are just free now. So why would I read them to you? You know? Before, when they weren't just available to all, I think Mary's book kind of had a point. But now, yeah, you just... They'll be yours next Wednesday, probably. So, yeah. Clipped. I'll start packing tonight. Nice. I'll sleep on a bed of plastic. Sure. Ah, the sprues. They're hitting me. I wish, but it seems I'm the only one interested. Yeah. Yeah. In fairness, it's been a very low interest box. I am vaguely intending to do a read of the lore because I've still got all the books for season 1. So when the next book releases, I might do like a full lore read through, which would be a hell of a lot of lore. But that might be a thing that'd be fun for people. Don't know. Tell us about the Tyranid terrain. Yeah, I will. I'll ask you about Aquilon's Hunter Clay matchup. Yeah, let's not test my game knowledge. It's not going to go well for anybody. Right, let's do it. Let's wildly speculate. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Sorry. Yeah. We'll look at that another time. Where is my thing? Oh, has it not worked? Right, let's see if I can find it. Boom. Season 2 and 3. No, I've got rid of all my old books, so I don't have the access to that lore anymore. I am cutthroat and mercenary when it comes to getting rid of stuff. Also, I had to move house, so you know, they were really having to do something to stay with me, and they were not doing enough. I'll tell you that much right now. So those are all right in the bin. I will read anything for the prize. Yes. Right. We can ignore all of this. This is what we care about. Let's zoom in. Okay. First things first. Scale. Skull. So this skull gives us the scale of this. And that means, at first I thought maybe they're messing with us, and it's actually for a different scale system. I thought maybe this is actually like Adeptus Titanicus or something. But because of the skull there, I suspect it is 40k, or, you know, the 28mm scale. Oh, fear. It would be so tedious. Like, that would take me so long to read. That would be like 6 hours minimum of me reading. I would die. I'm not editing that, to be clear. That will be unedited me reading the book. It's gonna suck. But nobody's done it. I'm genuinely surprised nobody's done like Kill Team lore, because it's just right here. You're just like, oh yeah, let me read. Look at this, just lore. That, as far as I'm aware, not that I watch hobby channels, lore channels, that might be why I don't know about it, but this is just ripe for the reading on lore channels. Is there a lore channel that just reads this? Because I'll point people towards that and I will listen to it myself instead of having to read it myself. Anyway, I say people saying Space Hulk, but people will say Space Hulk at anything. Yes, so nothing about this is Space Hulk, though. First things first, if we're looking at the rubs, That's not metallic. This is clearly concrete. So I'm gonna say this is legit. That I think this is the next kill zone. There you go. I think this is the next kill zone. It's going to maintain a hive city ruin aesthetic like Volcus, but it will be heavily infected by this stuff. That's what I think. That's what I dream. Now, we could ask why. Firstly, because 40k doesn't get terrain, right? Does it? I don't think so. So this is Kill Team. This is Kill Team, which means that what we might get for the next box is a reveal of what the next kill zone will be. But that's not till September. That's way too far away. So what we could be getting is perhaps, I think somebody in my Discord suggested that it's the third box is more like a narrative, more like not Faith and Fire. What was it? The Inquisitor and Chaos Cult one. So more like that, more like a larger box that will kind of be the end cap, the night cap to the first season, and perhaps because it will be a larger box that maybe is narrative based, they could give us terrain. You know, that'd be cool. Sure, Stalk Nid Tunnels, maybe. No. I was going to say, maybe this is a piece of Tyranid terrain that is on a Tyranid sprue. Ashes of Faith, thank you. But this is quite big. If we just look at the size of that skull, this would take up a sprue in itself. So it's not just a piece of terrain they would add to a unit sprue, right? Yeah. Eddie, the jazz is still playing. Can you guys not hear the smooth jazz in the background? I definitely need to up the background volume. If not, it's a banger. My prediction track record is soaking. What? You balls deep in prediction track records? What's going on? But I'm saying, no way is the Nid terrain for Kill Team. Why are you saying these lies in my channel? If it was July, just ahead of the next season, I might think, yes, I agree. It is too early to be the next kill zone. I agree. Holy Emperor's Refuse, soaking ETH because, oh, okay. All right, I was going to say, what? Appalling, all right. The most baffling thing to me is, like, the lore channels have done Arcs of Omen lore, which is, like, the most flat lore I've read in 40k so far. Yes, sure, but it was progression. Progression lore is always exciting in 40k because you might actually learn something. You can't, because that would destroy things, but it's always enticing. You know there's no progression in Kill Team. There's progression within the Kill Team narrative, obviously, they're making that clear, even though I haven't read them. But there's no progression for the wider 40k. You're right, 40k doesn't get terrain, and I only just realised how weird that is. It is weird, yes. It is weird. They should. They haven't had terrain for ages. They have been using Kill Team as the terrain getting system since they cancelled the Sector Imperialis terrain. I know that you can buy the Morok terrain or whatever, but that sucks. So, there you go. Or, I mean, you don't kit out an entire board with that. You go and you buy some 40k stuff, some Kill Team stuff. Of course, the potential is that what they're actually doing is holding fire until next either 40k season or 40k edition to do MDF tournament style 40k terrain. I think that would sell to the 40k crowd, you know, and we got the first tester for the Kill Team starter set. But maybe for the next edition, they're going to launch competitive terrain, which will be their own printed MDF. I don't know if they should, but that's a possibility. Need tunnels, but not kill team, which is bite-sized, packed, and more exciting. Yeah. Is it more exciting? I don't know. Common Andy, you've read all the lore, you should know that. Yeah, I know. I just forgot, I blanked. Come up to the loft for a nightcap. I'm in. Do it, my man, do it. It lacks resolution, but like, do a game and narrate it. Show some creativity. Oh, you mean play a game as I just read the words out? Maybe. Could it just be similar to the statue's bunker from the last 2 boxes and just be extra narrative terrain for the next box? It could be, but it doesn't go with anything in there currently, right? If this is one part of the terrain, then yes, you could have a second bit that is kind of intertwined with a new Volcus building. Oh man. If that's all we get for Nid terrain, this plus one building, one ruin with a few tendrils around, and then nothing else ever again. Oh my god. Absolute cock teases, GW. Jesus. That'd be funny though. I hear the jazz. I'm glad. Thank you. Like Tyranids versus X. Could be. But no, Snoozefest Primarch doing nothing and Farsight doing what he did in another book. Yeah, but Farsight's awesome and his new model was awesome and is awesome. We have it right here. Absolute banger. Smooth jazz. Jazz is on, love it. Give me needs table. I don't play them, but I'll buy Xenos terrain if it's not just one piece. I agree, we need a full board. Kill team always whack. The sweaty rule set is what we're here for. Yeah, sure. Sure. Unfortunately, you're correct, but that's a shame. Codex laws, oh man, don't get me started on Codex law. Hasn't Codex law not been new since 5th edition? Like, because they just pump them out every time, they just reword things. I don't think they're even allowed to put in new content. It seems crazy. But whatever, it's fine. 40k buy kill team boxes to use terrain. Yes, I'm pretty sure. And Kassakin. That's all they buy for kill team boxes for. Sucks that 40k is way up the KT boxes. Yeah. But at least it gives us a strong kill team vibe of support. Because it means that our game is booming. According to GW sales numbers. So great. Just the fact that it all ends up on 40k boards, who cares? Whatever. What teams are going to be with this? Well, it has to be. Oh wait, sorry. Isn't training going to be MDF? Oh, okay, all right. We covered that. Good. What's her? I don't think it should though. To clarify, I don't think that's a good way to go for GW. It doesn't make any sense. Also, having just come from end of sentence. Having just come. Moving on. No, sorry. Having just come from the tournament, those tables didn't look good. As I said, I was not inspired by a single table of terrain for the 40k side. Every kill team board was a banger. Looked amazing to play on, super immersive, really cool. Even when the paint jobs were just a zenithal in either red or blue. Looked great. Kill team 40k boards sucked. They did not look cool, they did not look interesting. They were competitive and functional, and that's it. They did not look good. They need to fix that with their MDF. And no, just printing on it, although that would look better, would not fix it. There you go. It's my hot take. I think they need to do a proper competitive plastic set. I don't know. Because can you believe you can't buy that? Like they don't do that. They have given, for 40k, a recommended tournament layout, but they don't have terrain that makes it. That's insane. Anyway, whatever, it's fine. Let's not get into it. So what teams? Tyranids and Deathwatch. There you go. I'm all in. I don't care. It's going to be Tyranids and it's going to be Deathwatch, and I'm going to blow my You finish that sentence. Was I going to say brains out or was I going to say load? We may never know. You filled in the blank. Hear me out. This is a Tyranid equipment piece that can be placed / replace certain interesting. I like it already. I don't think it is. I don't think that makes sense. But I like it as a concept, as an idea, super narrative, right? This could be part of the Tyranid kill team, where you pop this up. It's a piece of Tyranid equipment that you take before the game starts. You put it somewhere on the board. That is then a spawn point for you because you're tunneling, because you're raveners. You're ravaging. You're ravening. I don't know. I'd be into it. Looks like potpourri. Mind the spelling. Yeah, good luck spelling potpourri, am I right? Yeah. The carapace bits on the train are throwing me off. It's distinctly different with the consistent overlapping plates usually on it. It is Tyranid though. There's nothing else in 40k that does this kind of thing. And really, I see what you're saying, but it's this little spike here. I've seen this on many a Tyranid base. This is a Tyranid structure, 100%. Yeah. I would say you should probably look at the Tyranid structures of old, because they do have those kind of chitinous spikes. Maybe they are not the same. I don't know. I don't know. If it smells bad, maybe it's Nurgle related. Probably. True. I think this would smell terrible, if I'm honest with you. Loft Jazz, you know it, my man. Keeping it jazzy in here. I was talking about lore channels. Yes, read Kill Team book lore that is just a build up to a fight. Then they just add their own fight section. Oh, right. That's what they should do. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down for it. If it means anything, that Nid thing is painted up in the Hive Studio GSC. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Now, knowing GW, that could just mean that they felt it didn't look good with this much flesh color in their normal studio scheme. However, that is a good catch. Interesting. I'd be down for some more GSC, not in Kill Team, but you know, we have enough of that. But for 40k, that'd be nice. Fast like cool, new model cool, new story boring, lame. Oh, although it has a new book now. I can't remember what it's called, but I think that's releasing next week. Or 2 weeks. The terrain piece looks like a whack-a-hormigant game. I'd play that. That sounds fun. Probably using a power fist in place of a rubber mallet, yeah. The problem with the 40k is that the good-looking boards don't play that well. I know. It's a problem. Very genuinely, what GW needs to do is get a photographer, the guy that takes photos to make their game look cool, make him set out the board so that it looks cool, and then the rules guys go in after him and make that game work. Screw any other, don't do it any other way. Make that game, that board layout work, and then do it again, okay? They should not be, you know, genuinely. Give every model to the photographers, and whichever models they put down to make look cool, make that army how the game should play, right? But they don't do that, do they? No. Load them brains, glad to hear it. Thank you, my man. The Tesco code only good. It tastes exactly the same. Yes. Zero cola, for those with zero charisma, does have more of an amusing note to it than the 5 cola from Aldi or the other one that I tried from Lidl. So, you know, I'm experimenting. with local products, to clarify. because bizarrely, Tesco Cola is EU made. So cray cray. Want to see a good 40k board? Look up Planet Wargame latest narrative battle report. Oh, really? Oh. Okay. Oh, in French. All right. Lame. All right. I might go check it out though, because one thing I've been trying to do lately is figure out what on earth I'm doing with my life. And part of that could mean battle reports. I do like to play with different styles and varieties and such. And I'm sure there's a style or a type of battle report that draws people in more than others that I could do. So there you go. So I always enjoy looking at different styles. There you go. Looks a bit like a old Forge World terrain bit that spawned gaunts. Yeah? Okay. Okay. I'll believe it. I don't remember any terrain that spawned gaunts, but that sounds super cool, so I like it. Watch the first few minutes. I will check that out for sure. What's it called? Kill Team Kill Zone. Planet Wargame. Let's go type that in over here. Yeah, I was just watching Game Night. Which get great views, and they did a Kill Team one, which was interesting. It was Kill Team, we're going to fire the big gun. And so I was like, oh cool, Game Night are doing Kill Team. So I clicked on and they started playing and I was like, oh dear. Because what they were playing didn't feel like they were playing my game, you know? That was a bit of a letdown. I was like, oh cool, I get to see them do my game. No, they could have been playing anything, and that's fine. That's obviously intentional from them because they want to be able to have anybody watch it, not just a Kill Team player. So yeah, is what it is. On the plus side, it would no doubt mean that I could watch any of their other videos about other systems and not have to know anything about the system, because you're basically just watching 3 people talk. But yeah. It does spawn NIDs. They were in the Deathwatch iOS game. Oh, nice. Bruce, you don't play games. What's going on here? Space Marine 2 influence, Titus and his squad versus NID's Kill Team. Oh, I'd be down for that. That'd be sweet. That'd be sweet. Book isn't out yet, but Reddit consensus is that it's lame. Well, that's because it's written by Reddit's most hated author, who always makes Tau out to be evil, moustache twirling evil geniuses, as opposed to good, you know. Varrock's Katie rumor, yeah, I don't really care what his rumors are. I hope that we don't find out. I hope that he doesn't leak anything. Very genuinely, I liked that he was wrong about Blood and Zeal, and I really liked that we got that reveal just totally blind. I wish we hadn't even expected what he said, obviously, but likewise, I'm really excited that we don't know what the reveal is on Thursday. That's super cool. Genuinely. You think this is Tyrannid's death? No, I don't think so, but I want it to be. And the fact that this is Tyrannid based, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. It's definitely, you've heard it here first, it is definitely Tyrannid versus Deathwatch, 100%. This is a leak from inside the studio. The devs gave me a phone call and told me today. They said, Andy, it's Deathwatch versus Tyrannid. Let everybody know. There you go. Facts. Objective facts from the only Kill Team YouTube channel. Right there. Huge fan of the Warp Fire mini style like you did. Yes, I really like that as well. I think it's really cool. However, it's very, very niche. Let's be honest, isn't it? I haven't actually checked how many views it has. I don't know how it did, but it's very niche. Yeah. I think it's good for Glass Half Dead though. I think it works for Glass Half Dead. But when I'm thinking about like doing that as like a channel or something, yeah, it's so niche. You have to be in to the game to want to watch that, you know? And I don't think it has much outside of just being someone that is already balls deep in a game to watch that. There's no personality, there's no humor, there's no narrative. It's just, there's not even cool models. It's just, here's the game. So that is super niche, super niche. Yeah. Love game night. Very fast and loose. Yes, indeed they are. Indeed they are. Don't get me wrong, guys. Normally I'd love it fast and loose, if you know what I mean, but if it's like a clown's pocket or a wizard's sleeve, that might be too loose. It's very tunnel-like Tyranid terrain. Yes, I agree. So, you know, it was me that originally suggested, I don't think anybody else has suggested this, but a Tyranid Ravener team, because it would be a new Tyranid Ravener dual kit. Raveners, of course, burrow. This could be on that kit as a piece of terrain that they bubble out of. That'd be fire. Damn it, I'm not ready for another Kill Team box. I've got too much stuff to paint. I haven't even painted my records yet. I like that I didn't want Blood and Zeal. You have another 3 months. This is just a really early preview. So you've got 3 months to slay that grey, as they say. So go for it. Kill Team designers are doing the Tyranid trade just for the memes now. Yeah. Tease. GW, give me a 6 tech priest team and my life is yours. I will say about that I do think GW needs to get their balls together and actually simultaneously release things. Right? They've obviously just had this huge hit in Space Marine 2. We know that Mechanicus is coming up, which we assume is, again, Admech versus Necrons. Give us a kill team. Give us a Necrons Admech kill team to coincide with it. And then, in 6 years, when Space Marine 2 comes out, give us whatever their factions are again, right? Like, yeah, I do think that Kill Team is the perfect vehicle to do those simultaneous releases with. I also fully understand that simultaneous releases across media is nigh impossible, but you really should try. Really should try. But that'd be fire. I'm ready for the bad Dragon 40k cola. I think I've seen an Instagram user who does that actually. Not my thing, but I believe that exists. Shockingly, they are a Tyranid enjoyer. So there you go. Yeah. Sisters of Silence versus Tyranid. I suppose you could say that because, of course, Sisters of Silence would block out the hive mind. Lore nerds, do Sisters of Silence block out the hive mind? It's psychic. They are gnolls, but are they strong enough to block out the hive mind? I'm sure they could block out a local synaptic link, but I don't know. I don't know. Deathwatch, you know the original Kill Team before it was a game? Nah. Never heard of it. Never heard of it, mate. Oh, you know what I want? I want new Legion of the Damned. That'd be fire. That was a joke. That was a joke. Nice. Andy, you have such a way with us. Thank you, Kaz. You know, I always try to stay on top of my vocab. Always like to mix things up. Like to keep it fresh. Yeah, I like to think that I'm kind of inspiring the younger generation to be a little bit more eloquent. Yeah, work on the elocution a smidge. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for noticing. Ben Justice. I just like it, especially with the inner monologue for thoughts, etc. And narrative doesn't normally add a bunch for me personally, but I'm sure you have better access to the analytics than I do. I haven't looked. No, I agree. I love it. I took it from somebody else who was doing it for Sigmar because I thought it was really good fun. I agree. I agree. Gay nights. Yeah. That, I'll let you have that one because that's funny. But I'll let you have that one. That's good. Andy, which kill team has the big bulging sacks again? You stopped before the big reveal as you lost your train of thought. Honestly, my train of thought, as soon as you start talking about big bulging sacks, my train of thought doesn't survive long. For obvious reasons. I actually thought we were talking about the wizard sleeve comment. Did I say there was a kill team with big bulging sacks? Whoops. Quite the way with words indeed. What about a single piece ultra elite team of 3-piece super boss and 2 minis? No, so I think the team I actually suggested was they keep the warrior / ravener box as a 3-man because that's what they're going to do because they're large models. But on that you could fit 2 ripper swarms. Or just 2 small things. So like, you know how Necrons got their little dudes? Not the scarabs, but they got, what are they called? They're little canoptic plasmacytes. So you could do a new bioform that hangs around for Tyranid warriors / raveners. So it's just a little bit bigger than a ripper. And ultimately in 40k it's just a marker, but for us, it's a bra, you know? Yeah. You could do that. So you get your 3 big dudes, 2, 3 little dudes, you smash it. Smash it. That'd be fire, brah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Talking about Super Row Boss 2 minions, yes, some sort of ultra elite archetype of team would be really cool. And you just have faction rule, all models, counters, 2 on the kill op. There you go. So, something like that to get around the kill op, right? But yeah, that'd be really cool. I would like that. I would main that team. How many activations do you have, Andy? 3. Wow, okay. How do you balance that team? Good luck. Because they can't even balance 6 models. So I don't know what they're doing with 3, but yeah. I had the idea of them remaking the 2008 Tyranid Hive model and it being a part of the Tyranid kill team. Being the first team to sport a terrain piece, operatives could respawn using biomass points. Be interesting. Be interesting. Sure, some sort of respawn. I mean, well, we already have respawning in the Hyrotech. You know, you can just have it be something else. Perhaps instead of reanimation protocols, biomass, you know, every time you get a kill, increase biomass by 1. Respawning a model costs X points. The more points you spend, the more health you respawn with. I don't know. There's lots you could do. That is one of the positive things about Kill Team, is that because their core rules are so much just a light framework, they can do anything. They can add any possible mechanic to the game. They haven't tied themselves down at all. So you can have a team like Mandrakes just pop up out of nowhere, doing things that no other team has ever done, and there's no indication in the core rules those things could ever be done, and they're just there and they work. I was like, oh wow, okay, you know. So they could do that again. We could get a crazy new rule system. Raveners and Ripper Swarms box and can swap a Ravener out for 2/4 smaller than this. Yeah, sure. Or, oh yeah, so 2/4 smaller than this. So as you say, you could go out and buy either Termagant or Hormagant box and then swap them in. That'd be cool. So is it technically a 1-box team, but you can also bring other stuff? I think that's the way to go with Tyranids, right? Like, I think that's how you would do Tyranids. You would do, they get these models, which are a legitimate way to play them, but you can swap them out for X number of dudes. And to play them properly, you have to go and buy the Hormagant and the Termagant box, because you have to swap them out, kind of thing. But yeah. Is there a Horde melee team? Yes, Preston Die. There are Horde melee teams. Excuse me as I yawn first. So the Horde melee teams, depending what you mean by Horde. Number 1 is Felgor. They're not a Horde, they're a normal team, but for some reason, I assume you mean just not an elite team. So Felgor are your archetypical ones. They are absolute beasts, obviously. You've then got your Chaos Cults. They are basically all melee, apart from 2 models, pretty much. 3 models have access to something a little bit longer range. There's also Gellerpox Infected, but you can't buy their models, so don't try and get those. Those are the only ones that jump to mind. I'd have to go look through a list to see if I'm actually forgetting anything there, but yeah. Those 3. Eric Hoffman, I hope it's Tyranids versus Servitors. Why Servitors? Are they... You know what, Eric? It's not going to be Servitors as a team. There you go. If you mean Admech, then maybe. Although we just saw that as being a rumour from Valrak. Guys, let's not... We don't need to talk about that sort of rumour, you know? Let's have fun actually speculating, instead of just parroting what a content creator said, you know? Don't get me wrong, Tyranids versus Admech would be cool. I would like new Admech models. I would like new Tyranid models. That'd be awesome. Looking close at the terrain piece, there is a kind of creature in the top left. It has barbed tentacles. You mean inside that little hole? Okay. I can't make it out from here, but I will trust you. Nobody cares if a Servitor dies. Yeah, you can't score the kill op because because none of them count for the kill op here. Considering the new Guard Codex makes Catachans one of the 3 unique options, and Krieg and Kane both have okay models, I guess. Yes, Catachan are of course an option. 100% agree. I don't know if we need them now, but they must be coming at some point. No doubt. No doubt. Because their models are old AF, let's be honest. Servitors are awesome. It's not going to happen though. Because Servitors aren't, man. No, they could be their own team. I suppose. Anything could be its own team, you know? I don't know if that is a creature or just some sort of orifice, or maybe swirly liquid. My assumption is that it is an eruption of chitin, or it's a capillary tower, isn't it? And so within it, you have capillaries which would jettison the bioforms up, right? So it's kind of a sludgy goop. It's plasma, I suppose, with some capillary vein-like things. I don't know. What's inside of humans? It's that. There you go. What's the sludge inside humans? It's that. Are terrain part of the rumour engine pictures? Ooh, interesting. They do like to put this kind of like a generic looking spike as part of the rumour engine thing, so it totally could be. It's a face hugger infection team. I don't know much about game design, and I don't pretend to. But I can confirm that if you have a face hugging mechanic where you can take over the enemy with your models, that will not feel fun to play against. I promise you that. Eddie is having to head off for bed. Me too, in a moment. I am going to end the stream in a moment, that's for sure. But yeah. I will get on it. I will catch up with chat, and then we will head off for the night after I finish my Zero Cola. Zero Charisma Cola. It's just a sphincter. I hope actually one day we get a unit that is a Watcher of the Dark. To the Cherub from Zeal. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like one of those. Still hoping the dream is real and it's Tyranids versus... I would take Tyranids versus anything, I'm going to be honest. I still vote Tyranids versus Deathwatch, but I will take Catachan. What are 3 tech priests? Oh, and of course the fact that we're losing Phobos, I think, does mean we need a Marine team next. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it. A Tyranid terraforming machine? Yes, yes. See you, Eddie. Have a good one. I'll post images and a link of the bat rep. I mentioned it off the stream. Where should I put them? Cool content. Cool content. Although I put it up on my thing, so I am going to go and watch that. Look at some stills. Yeah. I personally hope for, but no, won't happen. Expedite Eldar with pet dinos and one night on a Raptor, and for anyone questions mounts, the compendium did include Krutox riders, so it could work. You know what, man? Anything's pos. Anything's pos. Anything's pos. We haven't had Eldar this edition, so that is possible. We've got to have a replacement for Corsairs, right? Corsairs and Phobos. We need Marines and Eldar. So a Watcher in the Dark could just be a cock block machine. Love it. Admech manning the gun and then is trying to stock them. Yes, yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know why the NIDs are there, but you can make up anything. It works. Thank you for another highly entertaining stream. Thank you, Kaz, for stopping by. A kill team of cherubs. Thanks for another great stream. Thank you, Ian. Thank you for the donation support. It will go straight towards my Hydratus fund. I feel the Reavers are getting an update, so maybe they're... Why would Reavers get an update? They're a fresh kit, and they look pretty good, to be honest. I don't think that's the case, but maybe, I don't know. Speaking of Watch in the Dark, my dream super elite team is 2-3 Deathwing Terminators, maybe a Deathwing Knight. That would be fire. I agree. Unfortunately, of course, the Deathwing Terminators just got a new kit, so that's definitely a long shot. Wholesomeness galore. Until next time, see you. Is there anything you can do about the ads in the live stream? No, unfortunately. That is a YouTube thing. I don't talk about it too much, but YouTube has recently changed, or they've either just changed or they are going to change. Even if creators turn off ads, they will still play ads for themselves, and therefore creators should not turn off ads, because then you just don't get the revenue, but they're still played. YouTube. Bloody nightmare, mate. A true pipe dream is a Dark Angels team that can give an opponent a fallen marine at the beginning of the game. That would be amusing. That would be fun. I agree. Awesome. Well, I've made it to the end of the chat. Thank you so much for coming along, everybody. It's been 2 hours. I have work tomorrow. You have lives to get back to as well, I'm sure. I rank my Zero Charisma Cola at 10 out of 10. Extreme taste. Or as the Polish say, maximum smaku zero suku. There you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been fun. I will see you in tomorrow's video, because I have too many videos and I have to get them all out really quickly so that I can cover the reveal on Thursday, my time, because they've all just been sitting around for ages. And they might all be answered in this stream. They're things like the thing I did today. I've got a roadmap video, etc., etc. And it's possible we just lose them all. Mikhail, I don't make kill team lists. Kill team isn't a game that needs a list. There you go. However, when I need my rules, I use Battle Kit. kt3.battlekit.app. There you go. Go check that bad boy out. But if you for some reason want to make a list on a roster, you can use KT Dash. That's the best place to do that. Right, thank you for watching, everybody. Stay pimperonied and hydrated. Hydratus Nox Dominus or something like that, right? All right, have a good one. Bye.